have a question for you. When was the last time you ever followed the crowd and something good happened to you or for you? Because I can't think of one instance where I was following the crowd and something positive happened to me. I want to just kind of get to the point. I am reading the Bible and just learning from the Bible. I'm not a pastor or a preacher or anything like that, or even a teacher in this. I'm just a sheep learning, and I'm just kind of learning out loud, different lessons. So I want to read a passage in Matthew chapter 7, verse 13 and 14. So I'll read it, and I'm reading from the NIV version because it's just kind of easier to understand. So it says, "Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow is the road that leads to life, and only a few find it." So this passage caught my attention, and it basically lets us know, we need to enter through the narrow gate. So what this is telling me is that when you follow the crowd, basically, when you listen to a lot of yakety yak in your ear, this one telling you to do this or do that, on your path in life, for you to follow the path that God has set for you, you have to kind of distance yourself from the crowd, because they're always going to try to pull at you and tell you to go this way or that way, and it's not your path. Yeah, enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction. So that's telling us that many people are going the wrong way. Many people are not even following the path that God gave for them. They don't know it. They don't want to know it. They want to do what they want to do. They want to follow Satan and his rules, which is do what thou wilt, right? So that's what they're doing. They're doing them. But for us, it's hard to get into heaven. It's hard to lead the life that is for you. God didn't put us on this earth to just suffer and fight and fight and fight. And this is why I created my channel. I was still kind of lost, you know what I'm saying? It's not like I was reading the Bible when I started this channel, but the main reason why I started the channel was to try to help people to, try to help us to get the courage that we need to step out of the bubble of the US to free ourselves. Because I've experienced it, I'm living it. I left the US in 2007. That was the first time. And I went to Paris, and, I have my story. You can look at the video. I'll leave it at the end of this video. But I mean, ever since 2007, basically, I've been traveling overseas. And in 2015, I made the decision to leave. Well, I made the decision to leave and become an expat, but it was never supposed to be permanent. But after George Floyd, that was it for me. So yeah, back to what we're talking about. Like I think about when I went to China to work. That was the narrow path, because everybody was talking about, what are you doing? Why are you going over there? Like, why would you do that? So that was a narrow gate, but that was what was meant for me at that time period. And that was, a lot of people, they go over there, or they went over there and had very bad experiences. But for me, that was where I was supposed to be at that time, to learn and grow as a person. So this is what you have to focus on. You have to focus in on what you're supposed to do to learn and grow as a person. Keyword grow, not stay the same, not keep doing the same thing year after year after year, because how are you growing? How are you, what are you learning? Yes, small is the gate and narrow is the road that leads to life. That means the life that's meant for you, not the life that, your family thinks is meant for you. Not the life that even your kids think is meant for you. You have a specific path that you were supposed to live, and God has a path for you. And it's your job, it's our job, right, to find the path that's meant for us. And this also means that there are very few people that will make it into heaven. There are very few people that want the truth, that love the truth. You know, we all saw the movie The Matrix, and we all think that we are Neo, right? We all think that we're the character Neo in the movie. But the reality is, most people want the blue pill. Most people want to continue to live their life the way that they've been living it. Most people don't want the truth. When they are shown the truth, most people will bucket it, okay? That's just what I've experienced, you know. Most people won't pick up their Bible and read it. And up until 2025, that was me. So I'm not here preaching like I'm somebody special. No. 2025, I came into the truth of things. Picked up this Bible and started reading and reading. You know, my grandmother gave me this Bible. And, you know, look at all of these notes and highlights and everything else. She gave me this Bible. Let me just keep it a buck with you. She gave me this Bible in 98, February 23rd, 1998. So she gave this to me. And I didn't pick up this Bible and start reading it until last year. And it's got the answers to everything. Anyway, so better late than never. So I also want to talk about a story in the Bible. Let's look at Mark chapter 10, verse 46. Then they came to Jericho. As Jesus and his disciples together with a large crowd were leaving the city, a blind man, Bartimaeus, that is the son of Timaeus, was sitting by the roadside begging. When he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to shout, "Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me." Many, the crowd, rebuked him and told him to be quiet. But he shouted all the more, "Son of David, have mercy on me." Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." So they called to the blind man, "Cheer up, on your feet, he's calling you." Throwing his cloak aside, he jumped to his feet and came to Jesus. "What do you want me to do for you?" Jesus asked him. The blind man said, "Rabbi, I want to see." "Go," said Jesus, "your faith has healed you." Immediately, he received his sight and followed Jesus along the road. So, right here, this is another biblical example of why you should never follow the crowd, why you should never pay attention to what people yakety yak in your ear. You know, we all have like an inner compass of what we should be doing. And we need to just follow that, right? The best way to do that is to pray, number one, ask Jesus for direction and guidance, because we're not alone. So ask for direction and guidance, and do what's in your heart to do, especially when it's the right thing, and especially when it comes to, strengthening your relationship with Jesus, getting close to Jesus, and you do it through reading your Bible or what have you. But in this story here, he saw, Bartimaeus saw that, Jesus is here, and he wanted to be healed. He wanted to get close to Jesus, and he didn't allow the crowd and their stupidness to tell him to shut up, right? He was out to, get close to Jesus and communicate with him no matter what. And, this was, when I read this was very inspiring. And this reminds me of those of you who want to move abroad and think that you can't because, of somebody yakety in your ear telling you that you can't. And I understand that, things get serious, especially if you're trying to leave and you have a child. What I did basically was pray. I prayed and I talked to Jesus Christ and I just asked for guidance and just divine protection, right? I knew that what I wanted to do, and I grabbed onto, the hand of Jesus and walked straight to my destiny, which was moving outside of the U.S. No matter what had to fall, me and my son, we were out. We were going, no matter what. And so you have to have that mindset too. Like once you make that decision, you can't be wishy-washy about it. And then you pray when you have roadblocks that's stopping you, or people trying to stop you from doing what you know that you need to do and that you should do. Comment down below and let me know what you think about following the narrow path. Are you following the narrow path? Do you find it difficult? Was there ever a time where you had anything positive happen when you followed the crowd? Because I can't think of one. Every time I think about following the crowd, I think about a time where this was a long time ago. I was in New York with some friends, and it was New Year's, and we were like far away from the ball. And we wanted to, they had like these wooden police barriers that prevented the crowd from moving forward. So anyway, people were drinking outside, people were rowdy. It was what it was back then. Anyway, so the crowd started getting rowdy and, people from the back started pushing. We started pushing too, right? So we were like pushing and yelling, and we were like, yeah, let's go, whatever, let's move, let's go forward. People were screaming, whatever, but basically we were all just wanted to move forward. We wanted to just get through this police barrier. And me and my friends, we were like right up against the barrier. So anyway, there's a lot of people and the crowd, we actually managed to break the police barrier. And everybody started running and yelling like, yeah, whatever. And this was winter time, and I was the bright one who was wearing heels. So I started running with the crowd, but then I almost fell. I grabbed onto the back of somebody's coat to pull myself back up, but then I just, kept running. And so we were running, and then like once we stopped, I saw that I had this huge cut in my pinky finger. And I don't know how that happened because I was wearing gloves. So anyway, I took off the gloves and I had this huge cut, and somebody was drinking beer, and I was just like, oh my goodness, and the blood was coming out. It was disgusting. And I was freaking out a little bit, and then somebody who had beer, and it was like, yeah, let's pour some beer on it. It's alcohol, it'll heal it. And I was just like, oh, whatever. So I have this, so they were pouring beer on my bleeding pinky finger. But that's what it was, right? That's following the crowd, not too smart. So, again, don't follow the crowd. Follow your path. Pray and get guidance from Jesus Christ. You're not alone out here. And I don't know, let me know what you think about these type of videos, because I'll be talking about my travel videos, but also I'll just be sharing what I'm learning in real time, right? These life lessons that are very important. Don't follow the crowd. Don't be a punk. Don't be a sucker. Like, stand up and follow the narrow road. Once you find the narrow road, cling on to it, stick to it. And if you're having difficulty finding the narrow road, then click the link in the description where it says red pill. You know, I'm ready for the red pill. If you're ready, if you love truth, and if you're tired of being lied to, hey, take the red pill and get the truth that you need to guide your life, and expect to change. You will not be able to stay the same once you know the truth. This is Ronnie Light signing off. Thank you for being here with me. I hope this was helpful to you. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.